Hello everyone, welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott, and boy, it sure turned out to be a nice day. A little cool but sunny after a week of kind of cloudy, rainy weather. This is nice. Wanted to do a short video. I'm really kind of busy right now. We've got kind of a lot of things going on. Not so much the physical labors type stuff, but spring is right around the corner for us, so we have to start thinking about what we're going to do with our property over the next couple months. So we've been spending time doing that. I do have some more communications videos coming up. I didn't do any last week. Again, it was rainy weather, and it just doesn't pay to really try to do it when you're also fighting the elements. So in the near future, I should have a couple more communications style videos coming up. Also, for the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Welcome. I hope you enjoy the channel. I will continue to try to put out some decent content, and hopefully it's something you'll get out of. So today, what I was doing today is this morning I was going through what I call my get home box. And let me explain that a little bit. I have a tiered approach when it comes to my gear. And I kind of got that from the Army. The Army issues you one set of stuff, and then they expect you to adapt it to the different mission profiles that you have to go with. In other words, if we're going out, just for an example, for post-police call, which every guy in the Army probably has had to do one time or another, you're basically carrying a pistol belt, a canteen, cup and cover, and a poncho strapped to the back of your web belt, on your pistol web belt, or whatever you're using today. Back when I was in, they had web belts. If I was on guard duty, I would add more stuff to that, my H harness and magazine carriers and first aid pouch. And so you build and take apart, for the different mission profiles that you go through. And I kind of carry that the same way as I look at my stuff. For example, I have EDC, my everyday carry. There's a handful of things that whenever I leave this property, I have on my person at all times. And that's just a handful of things. To augment those things, I have what I call a get home bag. It has more stuff. It'll allow me to do more things and help me get back home. And I typically have that bag with me when I am outside of my neighborhood. In other words, if it would take me more than, let's say, a half a day to get home, I would have that bag with me. On top of that, I have what I call my bug out box. And it's not a big box. I think its total volume is about 51 liters. And I have more stuff in there to include a bigger pack that's not packed. My little get home bag is a small pack just so I can sling it around easy. But I have a bigger pack in there, and I have more things. Like I have more clothes, I have more insulation layers, I have more fire making, I have food, I have water purification. And so that's my bug out box. And my thinking there is, if I really have to leave this house, more than likely it'll be in one of our vehicles, and I take that box and I throw it in the back and away we go. However, if I do have to go on foot, I have enough stuff in that box that I can pick and choose a little bit about what I'm bringing with me in my bag. It'll only take a couple of minutes because I know what's in that bag because I go through it on a regular basis. And so that's kind of how that works for me, and I may do some videos in the future kind of breaking that stuff down. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. Like I said, we're going into busy season. But today, I went into my box, I took it out, I cleared off the dining room table, I emptied the box out, I went through all my stuff, I looked at it, I assessed it, I rearranged it, put it back in, folded it back up, and then put it back on the shelf. And so you need to do that periodically. I tend to do it at least 3, maybe 4 times a year. All right, that being said, I wanted to go through books that I read or books that I reference, books that I tend to rely on when it comes to preparedness subjects. Now, mind you, I've been kind of doing prepper stuff since the late 60s, early 70s. So I've been doing this a while. I've seen a lot of books. I've read a lot of books. I've thrown away a lot of books. I used to be a pack rat when it came to books and some magazines. I'm not anymore. I just kind of wheedle it down to what I need and call it good. So today, in this video, I want to show you some of the books that I rely on and give you a kind of a brief overview of why you may or may not want to have those with you. And the first one is Survivalist Family by Pastor Joe Fox. It's a very good book. I consider it a very good primer. What I like about it is it talks about, prepping your family, not just the individual, and prepping at home. A lot of survival manuals, a lot of these prepper manuals always talk about you going somewhere else. But here, he's really talking about, prepping at home first. Because it's my belief that, you should stay at home until it's time to go. And what I mean is, you should be prepping your property, your home, to weather the storm, so to speak, and only at such time when your home has become too dangerous to live in, that's when it's time to go. So he does a good job here. He talks about a lot of different things. It's very good. I think everybody who is a prepper, and especially everybody who has a family, should have this on your bookshelf. It's an easy read. It's broken down in fairly simple terms. It's up to date. Good book. I like it. My wife even read it. All right. Sticking with the prepper family stuff, my next book is The Ultimate Survival Medicine Guide, and this is by Joe and Amy Alton. He's a doctor, she's a nurse. I like this book because it is written with preppers in mind, and so it's not just a medical first aid book, but it talks about how you can do things and even offers some alternate methods of doing things. And so for years and years, I did the Wilderness Medicine book by Joe Fogarty, which is a good book, but I like this one a little bit better because it talks about some alternative medicine that you may or may not be able to do when you can't get the regular stuff. So this is a good book. I like it. I've met these people. They're nice people. They have a website where they'd be happy to sell you a whole bunch of stuff. It's up to you what you do, but they do talk about a little bit of herbal medicine in here. They do talk a little bit about essential oils, not a lot, but good book. If you're prepping for a disaster, this is a good book. And then another book I have, and this is a subject that nobody really likes to talk about, but field hygiene and sanitation. Back in the day when I was in the Army, I went to special training to learn how to become a field sanitation NCO, which meant I had to look after the welfare of the troops. I had to cover things like frostbite and lice and other things. But this is a good manual. It's FM 2110. This is 1970, so it's dated. But you can. I think they're still producing this. It probably has a different number up here. But this is how you keep a group of people, like a platoon or a company-sized group, how you keep them clean and safe from the bad bugs. Very good read, lots of good information. It talks about how to dispose of your poop, how to wash things, how to clean things, how to know when you got what and how to take care of it. Very good book. It's a subject that nobody talks about, but this will put you in the grave faster than a bullet sometimes. So everybody should have this book or the newer version of it. I think it's still called Field Hygiene and Sanitation. This is my original book from when I was in. But you need to have this, especially if you're expecting to have more than your family. If you have several family groups coming on your property, you know, you may have 2 bathrooms in your house, but if you're feeding a septic tank with those 2 bathrooms, those septic tanks can only take so much before they back up, and then you have to go to plan B. If you're on city sewer, it's okay to have more people, but if we're talking about a dystopian or a devolving society, that sewer system may quit working, and again, you'll be backed up. So you need to have a plan, and digging a bunch of cat holes in the backyard is not a plan. So, good book. All right. Now moving on to basic survival books, and I've probably read hundreds of them, but the ones I really like, and the ones that I reference, and the ones that I tell my friends to get, starting off with 98.6, The Art of Keeping Your Ass Alive by Cody Lundin. It's a very good book. He's a smart guy, but the book is a little, I don't know what to say. I think he tries to be cute and funny. He uses some cuss words, and there's some cartoons that are kind of funny, but the meat of the book is very good. You know, he talks about why you need to keep 98.6 and how to do it. He also offers a little pocket survival kit. You know, his survival kits are really for short-term stuff. In other words, if you're out in a national park and you get stranded out there and somebody knows you're lost, this is a little survival kit to help you survive until somebody comes and finds you. But lots of good information in here. Really, really good. I like his book a lot. This is the one book that I recommend. I recommend to almost everybody. It's kind of fun recommending it to some rather prudish church members, but you know, it is a good book. It's one I recommend. And along with that, his other book is When All Hell Breaks Loose. This book is more prepper oriented. It's survival / prepper oriented. Again, lots of detail on the physiology of what happens to your body under certain conditions. He also talks about the psychological things. It's a very good book. It's good for you. It's good for your family. Must have, really, I think. It's not your typical army type, you know, survival manual, but he tells you how to take care of yourself when society goes bad. So this, along with 98.6, are 2 must-haves in your arsenal. And then the last book I have, this is a purely survival book, and it does have a military hint to it. It's called 6 Ways In and 12 Ways Out. It's made by the United States Rescue and Special Operations Group. It's pretty much a handmade book. It's on weatherproof paper. It's small, but it's got a lot of good information. Now, this is your survival book. This is what goes in my my bug out box. This is the one manual I take with me. This is the book that takes you away from your home. This is, you're bugging out, you're hoofing it on foot, you're kind of living off the land, you're getting from point A to point B. You may be doing some SEER, some survival, escape and evasion stuff. And so this is a good book. What I like about this book versus some of the Army survival manuals and the SAS survival manual is it doesn't spend a whole lot of time talking about plants and animals and things like that. It just talks about here's how you make a shelter, here's how you make a fire, here's how you make water, here's how you kill things to eat. It's a good book, and they do have some kit lists in here, and they kind of break it down like I do, like a level 1, a level 2, a level 3. But I like the book. I like it because there's not a lot of extra stuff in here. Like when you look at like the Army Survival Manual or the Marine Survival Manual, they're showing you plants from all over the world. Well, most of us aren't going that far from where we live now. Like I live in the Southeast, and more than likely, anything I'm going to do where I need the skills in this book will probably be in the Southeast. And so he doesn't go into a lot of, well, if you're up here, you do this. If you're down here, you do this. He just kind of really teaches you some really good basic stuff. So this is a book I like. And again, this is because of its size, it goes in my bug out box. I'll post a link to this. They still have a website. I bought this book like 10 years ago. I do like it. I think they still sell them. I'll post a link down in my comments section about where to find this book. I think now it's 15 bucks. But it's a good basic book. I really like it. So that's what I got. Again, we're busy. Hopefully some more comm stuff coming up. Some other videos. We're just, sometimes life takes over. Again, for all you subscribers, thank you for being there. I appreciate you. This channel is there for you to use. Tell your friends. Like people say, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to comment. So far, I'm still pretty good about replying to comments, or at least I check that I like them or give you a thumbs up. So that's all I got for everybody. I hope you're having as nice a weather as we're having today. So everybody stay safe and stay secure.